Hey guys! So I am a little nervous but also super excited today because I really want to try a Game of Thrones inspired makeup look today. Now a lot of the ones that I researched a little bit before I wanted to do this just to make sure I wasn't really just, following the crowd. And they're all Daenerys tutorials, and I wasn't going to go that route. I really want to do a Night's King inspired makeup tutorial, but disclaimer, if you're here looking for like a full-on like special effects Night's King, I'm not doing that, I'm sorry. This is not what you came here for. But if you are here just to see a really icy makeup look, then stay tuned, just keep watching. We're starting off with a completely fresh face, no makeup whatsoever. The only thing I have on is moisturizer. The very first thing that we want to do is prime our eyes because this is primarily a look that is focused heavily on the eyes. And I am using my MAC Pro Longwear paint pot in Painterly to prime my lids. Before we start getting into all of the colors for the eyes, what I'm going to do is set the paint pot with the Too Faced Glitter Bomb palette, and I'm going to use the white brightening base here just to provide the most color payout that I can. I'm putting this over my whole lid and up to my brow bone where I put the paint pot. And because we're going for a pretty frosty look today, having a white base is a really good way to set everything off. I thought about this a lot today, whether or not I wanted this to be more of a smudgy look or more of a like clean cut, super sharp look, and we're going for razor sharp today. What I decided to do is take two little pieces of tape and I'm going to put them on the corner of my eyes where I want my shadow line to be, because if we're being serious, you want these to kind of look like icicles and you want them to be able to cut a bitch. Alright, so now that I am rather uncomfortable and look pretty ridiculous, let's get started. You guys don't understand how many palettes I have here in front of me because I just couldn't find all the shades I wanted in one or two. What we want to do is start with a transition color that is more on the cool side instead of the warm side. If the look is going to be blue, blue is already cool toned, and using a warm toned transition shade is really going to kind of throw everything off. And the coolest one I could find, and actually is probably pretty perfect, is in this Zoeva on Taupe palette, which by the way is a fantastic name. And it is this middle shade here at the top. It is a matte shade called Gallery. It is the coolest tone brown I could find. It's almost like a grayish brown. And this one will be our transition shade. Now this is the shade that you want to bring up the highest, because we're going to be setting everything off on top of this shade, and everything's going to be building in layers slightly lower as you add color. So this one can come up a little higher so you can still see it once all of the other colors are applied. Now that I think about it, I probably really should have done my eyebrows first, but I shall persevere. I've already started, just going to continue. Next, I'm going to go into another Zoeva palette. This is the Rose Golden palette, and I'm going to use this shade here at the bottom called Harmony. It's just a little deeper than the one I just used, but I don't want to, you want to build the color up really slowly. This is going to be something that's going to be really intense looking, and the slower you build it up, the more blended it will be, and it's just going to look so much better. And so I'm going to start focusing this color very slowly more into the actual crease and keep it just below the color that we applied first so that we kind of get a seamless, really nice blended effect rather than all these really harsh lines. Now we're going to start building up the blue color, and y'all will probably laugh at this. The only matte blue shade I could find that was light that we could start using as like a transitional kind of blue shade was from this little Mermaid quad that I got from CVS like a year or two ago. I don't actually know the name. Oh no, I got it from Walgreens. I lied, sorry. But anyway, this is literally the only light blue matte shade I could find. So I'm just gonna go in here. It does have a lot of fallout, so I'm gonna have to tap this. And I'm gonna start building up this blue right underneath where I put that deeper kind of taupey shade. I'm also going to start blending this light blue shade into the outer corner a little bit and the inner corner, because the ultimate idea for this is to have like more of a halo effect, and I want to start building the blue in the places where I want the color to be and leave it a little more empty in the middle where we're going to put a different color. Alright, it's getting super exciting now because I'm starting to get into the darker colors. This is one of the last matte shades I'm going to be using. This is the Kat Von D Metal Matte Palette, and I'm going to start with this color here, Velour. It's the only matte blue in the palette. I'm going to use the same brush that I just used to do that light blue, and I'm just going to focus this on the outer corner and the inner corner. These deeper colors are the reason why I didn't do my face makeup before I did my eye makeup like I usually do, because there's so much fallout with some of these, and I really don't want a blue face too. That's not the look I was quite going for. So, in case you're wondering. It's also worth building this color up really slowly, because it's once you start getting into some of these deeper colors, it's just so easy to mess it up, and believe me, I know because I've done it, and I'm actually still scared I'm gonna do it, so just in case you were curious, still a little nervous. Now that we've got all the matte shades pretty much where we want them, I'm gonna go in with the first shimmery shade. It's coming from the Jaclyn Hill palette because this is the most intense blue, this one right here. The most intense blue that I could find. I have blues in every palette on my desk. I've got one in the Metal Matte, I've got one in the Urban Decay, I've got one in the Pirates of the Caribbean, but this one is just the craziest, most electric blue, and this is what I wanted. So just like the darker matte blue, I'm going to take this just on the outer and inner corners, but I really want to pack this on as much as I can to get a whole lot of color payoff. We'll see how it turns out. I'm a little nervous. I'm just going to start a little at a time and build it up. This is definitely not where I want to mess up at this point, so I'm going to take my time. I'm also going to take a little bit of this blue and kind of blend it throughout the crease. So just kind of blend everything together. I'm using a really light hand, and I didn't take very much product on the brush, just so we kind of get all the colors going together. Alright, here's the really fun part, because now I'm taking the Colourpop Super Shock Shadow in Liberty, and I am very generously putting this on my finger. It is so pigmented, and it's a super icy silver, and I am just going to pack this on the center of my lid. I'm going to take that blue brush again and help smooth out some of the edges. And then go right back into the silver and just define it just a little bit more. I'm also going to take a pencil brush with some black shadow from the Jaclyn Hill palette and just run it in the very deepest part of my crease just to give it a little more dimension. Now you can kind of see the lines where the tape was because I had a lot of fallout from these shadows. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my face makeup, most of it, off camera, come back, and we'll get to highlighting and we'll finish off the eyes. Okay, I'm back and you can tell that I have a lot of my face makeup on now. I definitely tried to carve out my brows a little bit better, make them a little more angular. I did a lot more bronzer and contouring than I normally do. I mean, the Night King really has some cheekbones, so that's a lot to live up to. Anyway, so what I'm going to do now is just start going on the lower lash line and build up the color the way that I built it up on the lid. I'm not going to go as hard with some of these colors, but I do want to start out with the right bases just so we get the same depth of color that we got on the lid. So I just used that light ashy brown shade real quick. Now I'm going into that darker ashy brown shade, and then I will be getting into the blues. Now I'm going to take some of this little mermaid blue and run this on my lower lash line. I'm going to try to keep it focused mostly on this like outer half of my eye because I'm going to highlight the inner portion, I think, with more of that silver. Okay, next going into the Kat Von D one very lightly, and then I'll just build it up as I need. Okay, and finally I'm going to go in to the Jaclyn Hill palette and get a little bit of that blue and just finish this off. And the lower lash line is almost done. Now I'm going to take a little bit more of that silver color Liberty. See how well I can get this on my lower lash line. Okay, and for a highlight today, I really wanted a very icy, obviously, highlight. So the iciest one I could find is in the Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit Ultimate Glow. And it is the shade Snow, which is very fitting for this. So I'm just going to get my fan brush, if I can find it. And I'm going to start this on the cheeks, and then probably work my way around to the nose, and definitely to the brow bone, and maybe the inner corner. We'll see. Oh yes, Ice Queen. Alright, get the bridge of my nose here. Get my cupid bow a little bit. Ooh, that some intense highlight there. I'm also going to take a little bit of Snow on the back side of this little Tarte brush and do this on my brow bone. Okay, I went ahead and tight lined with the Urban Decay Glide On Eye Pencil in ink, and now I just need a little bit of mascara and we're all done. Alright guys, that is it. That actually took a lot longer than I thought, but it was a lot of fun for me to do. I ended up keeping the lip really simple and very toned down because these eyes are like daggers. They're crazy. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I know I'm not the best at tutorials. I'm mostly I just don't know what to do with myself half the time. I'm like, should I look in the camera? Should I look in the mirror? I mean, am I making a face? I don't know. But I really did have a lot of fun doing this, and I really pushed myself out of my comfort zone. Blue is not my thing, but I really, really wanted to try something with blue and Game of Thrones related. I mean, if you watch that show, leave a comment in the box below and just let me know. Like, leave a little thumbs up and let me know you watched it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and going through this with me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a big thumbs up if you did, and always subscribe before you leave. I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you again for staying tuned. I love you guys. Bye.